there for you. This is not a learn more about Paige Bueckers video. This is purely a video about one line in said article. So shout out to Elle Magazine for post. It says here, who has been tearing it up on the court and off the court this season's part of Unrivaled. And in fairness, she has been. If she robs Aaliyah Boston of Unrivaled MVP, I'm going to be extremely annoyed because it is a robbery. Her team is below 500. And says here, better love her reading how she expresses herself through fashion, what to expect from next year's WNBA season, and then brackets, yes. She says there will be a season.
That's not just any player casually mentioning next season. That's Paige Bueckers, one of the 5 most valuable players in the entire WNBA, essentially confirming there will be a 2025 season while the league and players' union are still locked in CBA negotiations. And she said it in a fashion magazine interview, not a press conference. So why does this matter so much right now?
For everybody involved, first of all, from a selfish perspective of like, I'm happy there's a season so I can actually start talking basketball again, because I love the fact that I get paid to cover this league. And for anyone being like, this channel is just talking absolute nonsense, like yeah, there's absolute bullshit going on right now. And like, I'm sorry, covering a 3v3 league is what it is. Like, it's nothing. The league isn't anything absolutely spectacular. That being said, Paige essentially saying that there will be a league is huge.
Here's the context everyone needs to understand. The current collective bargaining agreement expires in weeks. The Players' Union Executive Committee has been pushing for massive changes, revenue sharing, higher minimum salaries, better travel conditions, and there's been genuine concern about a potential strike or lockout that could delay or even cancel the 2025 season. But Paige just said in LMI magazine, in brackets, like it's no big deal, yes, she says there will be a season. That's huge.
But I fully believe it is Paige, Angel, Sabrina, Aaliyah Boston might be in that conversation, but maybe she's the 6th. But Paige, Angel, Sabrina, A'ja Wilson, and obviously Caitlin Clark. If they are the player, if those players say, we don't care about if you guys strike, we don't care if you strike, we are walking the picket line, there's going to be a season no matter what. Like, there won't be a strike. I don't think those players will do that. I'm not accusing those players of doing that. There's a 0% chance those players do that.
Now, Paige isn't on the executive committee. She's not Nneka Ogwumike or Breanna Stewart negotiating directly with the league, but she's in that elite tier of players who transcend the WNBA's current structure. We're talking about Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Sabrina Ionescu, A'ja Wilson, and Paige Bueckers. These 5 players could walk across a picket line tomorrow, and the league would still draw 80% of its current viewership. That's not an exaggeration. That's the uncomfortable reality of where star power sits right now.
We don't think you're the ideal backcourt partner. Like, they were higher on keeping Emma Messiman, who, by the way, I'm not going to say Emma Messiman stunked it up, who can't play with Jonquel Jones. That is a more accurate statement for it all. Like, Emma Messiman and Jonquel Jones, like, we saw it when she was, like, she averaged 14 a game. It's not like Emma was bad by any means, but it's like, she's like the closest thing to female Jokic. She doesn't have the movement of Aaliyah Boston, but like, she shoots a little better.
And before anyone gets defensive, let's be clear about what's happening here. The executive committee players like Natasha Cloud are absolutely fighting for the right things. They're bargaining for the players making minimum salary, for the rookies who can't afford proper housing, for the veterans stuck in middle seats on commercial flights. That work is essential. But there's a parallel reality the league has to acknowledge. If those 5-star players decided to play no matter what, there would be a season, period.
I think Alyssa Thomas is a rugby player. Like, she's a bit different, but like, Emma in the right like, you could build a playoff system around Emma. And like, I wouldn't be surprised if she decides to go to play with Rashid Mazian in like, she could decide to play with Rashid Mazian in Connecticut, and like, a system built around her, like her replacing Tina Charles. Like, I don't think, again, people realize this. Like, if she replaces Tina Charles with everything that team has, it's like, okay, now we're looking at a serious team.
Think about the timing of Paige's comment. The Indiana Fever just released their 2025 schedule. They have 3 back-to-back games crammed into a season that already includes 2 random 6-day breaks. Meanwhile, the Dallas Wings, where Arik Ogunbowale famously refuses to play back-to-backs, somehow got a schedule with 0 back-to-backs. That's not coincidence. That's the league already operating like next season is locked in, even while negotiations are supposedly ongoing.
One of those players, like if Caitlin Clark goes and says there will be a season, in any sort of an article, even if it's about her books, you take that as a big thing. Paige Bueckers saying it, it matters. It really does. Like, but like, I think when it comes down to it, I actually think the players, like the league and the players getting back to each other quickly means that there's going to be a season. Like they're getting back to each other really quickly. I think the players are, I still think nothing is going to be signed until the very last day. And the season could be like, look, if I'm the players,
And here's what makes Paige's statement different from anyone else saying it. If Natasha Cloud tweets there will be a season, people assume she's posturing or being optimistic. If a role player mentions next year in an interview, nobody notices. But when Paige Bueckers casually drops it in a fashion magazine profile, not even a basketball publication, that signals something. It means the players who actually have leverage believe this is getting resolved.
Important one. It is very important hearing Paige Bueckers saying this because, again, she's someone that matters. Like, I don't care what Tash Cloud says. I don't care what a random, like, and I understand that they're absolutely they're caring about the little guy. They're caring about the players in the league. They're bargaining more for those players. Like, I absolutely understand that. But like, there are still 5 players that I do believe that if they decided to cross the picket line, that the league would be business as usual. Like, if the league lost every single player other than those 5, I genuinely think the overall ratings in the WNBA would be 80% the same. Like, I actually think if the league lost Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, because you can't just have Caitlin Clark. If the league lost Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Sabrina Ionescu, Paige Bueckers, and Aja Wilson, if the league lost those 5 players, the viewership will be a quarter of if the league had those 5 players and a bunch of random players that just came out of college. So yeah, that obviously is kind of irrelevant to the point, but that's just make my point for how important it is.
Let's talk about what's really at stake in these negotiations. The players want a bigger share of revenue, which is fair. NBA players get roughly 50%. WNBA players get closer to 20%. They want chartered flights instead of commercial travel, which again seems reasonable when you're asking elite athletes to perform at the highest level. They want higher minimum salaries, so rookies aren't living with host families or splitting apartments with 3 teammates. But here's the complication. The WNBA has never turned a profit. The league loses money every single year, subsidized by the NBA. So when players demand 50% of revenue, the league's response is 50% of what? The record viewership in 2024 helped, but one good year doesn't erase decades of losses. And that's where these negotiations get complicated. The players' union knows they have more leverage now than ever before. Caitlin Clark's rookie season brought unprecedented attention. Angel Reese created storylines that drove engagement. Paige Bueckers is about to enter the league as the most hyped prospect since Caitlin. The timing is perfect to push for major changes. But the league also knows something the players might not want to hear. Most of that viewership is concentrated around 5 or 6 players. If you lose Caitlin Clark, the Fever's ratings drop by 70%. If you lose Angel Reese, the Sky's attendance falls off a cliff. That's not speculation. We saw it happen during injuries this past season. So when Paige Bueckers says there will be a season, what she's really saying is we're not walking away from this moment. The players with the most leverage understand they're in a unique position. Caitlin just finished a Rookie of the Year campaign that brought millions of new fans. Angel created must-watch television every time she stepped on the court. Paige is about to enter that same spotlight. None of those players want to strike. They want to play. They want to capitalize on this momentum. And that's probably why negotiations are moving faster than anyone expected. Here's what likely happens next. The players' union gets significant wins on travel and minimum salary. They probably don't get 50% revenue sharing, but they get closer to 30 or 35%. The league agrees to charter flights for back-to-backs and playoffs. Both sides declare victory, sign the deal, and the 2025 season starts on time, maybe delayed by a week or 2, but not canceled. And Paige Bueckers, whether she meant to or not, just told us that's exactly what's coming. So yeah, there's going to be a season. And it's going to be the most watched season in WNBA history, because all 5 of those transcendent players will be on the court at the same time. That's what makes this comment so significant. It's not just optimism, it's confirmation from someone who actually matters in these negotiations, even if she's not in the room.